Hi there, let's do some summarising practice. We'll use an article about the decline of insects written by Tony Juniper from the Guardian newspaper. Let's take a look at the text. Surveys going back 20 years to 2004 reveal a sharp drop in the number of insects found splattered on number plates in the UK. The scale of decline is staggering, with evidence gathered from number plates showing a drop of 78% between then and 2023. That's Kenton Wildlife Trust 2024. Such findings place this year's sudden insect decline into the context of a longer-term trend and show how erratic weather patterns are hitting already depleted populations. Going back further by about a century, the drop is likely to be far larger still. Dave Goulson, one of the UK's leading entomologists, estimates that insect populations compared with a century ago are 90 to 95% down. That was not caused by one wet spring. It is the result of a combination of factors that include the rise of ever more intensive farming, habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, pollution, and the impacts of climate breakdown. Okay, so the first task is to take notes on the text, and to do that I've split them up into individual sentences. First sentence, surveys going back 20 years to 2004 reveal a sharp drop in the number of insects found splattered on number plates in the UK. So in the notes, I don't need to, this is slightly poetic language because it comes from a newspaper. I don't need that in my summary. All I need are the facts here. 2-decade decrease, that's here, and sharp drop. Insects on UK number plates. So that's what we're talking about, and this is the way the data was collected, by insects flying into cars as the car is driving along. The scale of decline is staggering, with evidence gathered from number plates showing a drop of 78% between then and 2023 with the citation. So here in my notes, I've already got the citation in the text, so I don't need to repeat it, but it's probably worthwhile saying that this is the voice of research here. And then I place the statistic in there, and I say the fall is stunning. The decline is staggering. This is a measurement of the value of the statistic, so it is important for the summary. And I've already started to use a synonym here for staggering to stunning. Third sentence, this one here. Such findings place this year's sudden insect decline into the context of a longer-term trend and show how erratic weather patterns are hitting already depleted populations. Okay, so for this one I've said recent stats in context of trend suggesting freak weather as cause. And so this year's sudden insect decline is what I'm saying, calling recent stats, are in the context, that is, they're placed within the bigger picture of the trend. And then I'm also saying that weather patterns are seen as a cause here. Going back further by about a century, the drop is likely to be far bigger still. 100-year sample shows greater decrease. That's pretty simple. Dave Goulson, one of the UK's leading entomologists, estimates that insect populations compared with a century ago are 90 to 95% down. That's a pretty incredible statistic, by the way. Okay, so really all I need here is to say the citation, there's a citation there, and the statistic. And so then this last sentence is giving us a list of causes. That was not caused by one wet spring. That's, again, newspaper speak. It's kind of poetic by saying it's not caused just by the events of just within one season in a year. It's the result of long-term effects. And the factors they're talking about, there's a list of them: agriculture, habitat loss, pollution, and climate. And I've cut out quite a bit of detail there. So the next step in summarising, now that I've cut a lot of the detail, which is one of the strategies of summarising, is to work all of these notes into sentences. So let's move on to that. So let's take a look at the first two sentences, which I've reduced to one sentence. I've highlighted some of the words that I've made synonyms for. Staggering to incredibly. Incredibly means difficult to believe. Sharp drop has been changed to have decreased, slightly more academic. Time expressions or statistics are easy to find synonyms because there are so many similar expressions. I've cut some detail here as well. Let's have a look at a comparison of what's in the original and the summarised text. And also the change in position in the sentence. So this is word order that we're looking at. You see the position of 78% has moved to the end of the sentence. That gives more emphasis to the statistic. And I'm highlighting the verbs here. The original verbs are active verbs, and these expressions in the summarised sentence are passive verbs. I'll show you the direction of these. You see reveal refers to an object after it, so it's moving in that direction. Surveys done is a passive expression, so it's referring to, the done is referring to the survey before it, and have decreased is referring to the insect numbers before it, so it's passive. A longer-term trend, century-long study. It refers actually to Dave Goulson's following statement and the one before concerning the century-long study. The word already depleted changes to compounding the problem because one value decreasing already with another value decreasing is compounded. Now let's look at word form. I've changed the noun context to contextualizes a verb. I used quotation for erratic weather patterns because it's a scientific term. And terms we can use quotation for. Then I'd like to discuss the word estimates. You might be tempted to make a synonym for this. Let's look what word synonym dictionary gives us. So approximations, estimations are nouns. Guesses is not academic. Guesstimates, evaluations and others there, they're really not the right ones. Have a look at the way that I've reduced that and changed the order. And then for the statistics, down, decrease, there's synonyms there, but they've also changed the word order with those. So decrease comes before the statistic, down comes after the statistic. So there's the original, which is 151 words. And here we've got the paraphrased section, which is showing 63 words. Happiness.